Hello, this is the changing tires notes. First thing I want to do is talk about this little equation looking thing up here. This is talking about what you typically see on the side of a tire. The P and the R are always there. The number right here is talking about the width of the tire. The percentage right here is talking about the ratio. And this number is always used to find the diameter. Okay, so this is all going to be useful in our table. And what we're doing is comparing your standard tires to a larger version. Okay, so if I'm looking at this first column, my width of my tire is 245 millimeters. My aspect ratio is 70%. Okay, once again, I'm just getting this from the information right here. And then my height. So to find height, you want to, sorry about that. You want to do height over width equals your ratio. So that will be my height is unknown. My width is 245, and that's going to be equal to 0.70. Okay, to find this, to move that 245, I'm going to multiply both sides by 245 because I don't have a lot of room. I'm just going to go ahead and do it on my calculator. And I get 171.5. Okay, that is talking about millimeters. I need my height to be in inches, so I need to convert this to inches by dividing by 25.4, and that gives me a height of 6.75 inches. Okay, so my height is 6.75. My diameter, I'm going to use that number at the very end and say 16 plus 2 times my height. So it's number from top plus 2 times height. And that is going to be 6.75. Okay, once again, I'm just typing this into the calculator. 29.5 inches is my diameter. And then to find the circumference, you're doing your diameter times pi. So I'm going to say 29.5 pi equals, and then you plug that in, and you want to round it to the nearest hundredths place. Okay, so here's all my information for that tire. My other tire, I have 285 millimeters. I have 75% as my ratio. My height, I have to find, so over 285 equals 0.75. Let's zoom this in. Height is equal to 213.75 millimeters divided by 25.4 millimeters to get my height in inches to be 8.42 inches. And then my diameter is 16 plus 2 times 8.42. And that is going to give me 32.84 inches. And then my circumference is going to be 32.84 pi, which is equal to 103.17 inches. Okay, so now I have all this information, and I can compare it further on and answer these questions by comparing it. So after one rotation of the wheel, how many inches further does the truck travel compared to the factory tires? So I'm going to take the new tires, and I'm going to subtract the factory tires because that's telling me the difference of how far I have traveled. Okay, and I get 10.49 inches. So pretty much the larger tires goes further. Using the results from the table above, we want to find out some information. Okay, so your page actually turns. So if you turn the page, we want to find K. So K is the circumference of the bigger tire over the circumference of the smaller tire. So our bigger tire was 103.17. And our smaller tire is 92.68. Okay, so when I divide that, I get 1.11. Remember, we want to do everything to the hundredths place. So now I can use this K value to find out this other information. So the mileage, so what you've actually traveled, you're going to do 20,000 times 1.11, and you're going to get 22,200 miles is what you've actually traveled. Your speedometer, so your speed, if I'm going 60 miles an hour and I multiply it by 1.11, I'm going to get 66.6 miles per hour. But remember, if you get a ticket, do they ever put the decimal? No. So you either are going 66 or you're going 67. So just kind of keep that in mind. And then gas mileage, I have 18 times 1.11, and that gives me 19.68. So looking at number 4, if you're driving in the truck with the larger tires and your speedometer shows 65, what are you actually going? So if I do 65 times 1.11, I get 72.15. So if I'm in a 65 mile an hour speed zone, would I be ticketed for going more than 5 over? So yes, because 72 is more than 5 more than 65. So yes, for 5 miles an hour over. Then would you get more than 10 mile an hour? No to 10 mile an hour. Okay, because when you subtracted 72.15 minus 65, you get 6.15. So you wouldn't be going 10 over, but you'd be going a little bit more than 5 over. So you would get ticketed for 5. Okay, so we're going to do this again with different set of tires. So I have a width of 160 millimeters. My ratio is 70%. My height is going to be h over 160 equals 0.70, and I need to solve for h. So h in millimeters is 112. Now I need to divide by 25.4 millimeters to get h to be 4.41 inches. Okay, now my diameter. This time I have 14 on the end, so 14 plus 2 times 4.41, and you get 22.82. And then my circumference, 22.82 pi equals 71.69. Remember, you can pause this at any time. Also remember, like, if you mess up one step along the way, it's going to give you a little bit of a skewed result. So just kind of pay attention to all the numbers you're plugging in so that way you don't make any simple mistakes. Okay, so my width for my new tires is 205. My ratio is 80%. My height is h over 205. equals 0.80. Okay, so I'm going to solve that, and h in millimeters is 164. Divide by 25.4, and my height in inches is 6.46 inches. Okay, so now to find my diameter, I'm going to say 14 plus 2 times 6.46 to get 26.92. Then 26.92 pi is equal to 84.57. Okay, now we need to find our K. So remember, it is the larger tire over the smaller tire, or new over factory, however you would like to put that. So I have 1.18 as my K. Now I'm going to say 1.18 times 30,000 to get 35,400 miles. Then I'm going to say 1.18 times 70 to get 82.6 miles per hour. And then 16 times 1.18 is 18.88 miles per gallon. And that's it. So if you have any questions, remember to pause it, go back, and you can always ask your teacher.